What thing that you did as a teenager makes you think, why in the hell did I do that? When cable TV first became the norm in the 80s and most people had the same standard box, my best friend and I would take one of our spare remotes after it got dark and walk around the neighborhood up to people's living room windows and change the channels. I remember one guy getting all pissed off and slamming his cable box against the TV. Actually, now that I've typed it out, I don't regret this at all. Mine is when I was in 6th grade and was in a new school with nobody to talk to. I heard some 8th graders talking about how this girl's ass was so nice and I walked in and said, "I love big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny." I still cringe painfully thinking about it to this day. Prematurely cashed almost $10,000 worth of savings bonds that my grandma had bought for me. They were hidden in a lockbox in my parents' room. Once I found the key, I started slowly cashing them. Since they were cashed before they had matured, I only got about $1.500 for them in the end. I spent the money on super important stuff like cigarettes, video games, and weed. More gel in hair equals more cool. Minus 13-year-old me. I used to bring around a guitar that I didn't even know how to play. So one night I was up late, as teenagers are wont to be, when I found a small jar of glow-in-the-dark paint. My thoughts immediately turned to how I could somehow intertwine this paint and my genitals. My two favorite things. I didn't have to think long. For about 2 hours I was running around the dark house stark naked with a flashlight, seeing what all I could illuminate with my chode of elucidation and giggling like a pack of preteen girls looking at a poster of a boy band. Eventually my brilliantly lit phallus began to burn a bit, then a whole lot. The escapade eventually ended with a 15-year-old guy picking paint and a fair bit of skin off of his painful member and coming to the sleep-deprived realization that this must be the work of some otherworldly force. The joy of glow-in-the-dark penis was simply too great to be harnessed too long by any one man. Decided a black eye would look cool, so I punched myself in the face. I took a few goes at it. It's surprisingly hard to punch yourself hard enough to cause bruising. I jumped off a bridge because my friend had just jumped, so I followed without thinking. Utter terror took over my mind until I was in the water. Then all I could think was, goddamn it, Tijoyo. You had one F-king lesson to follow. It's a good laugh now because of the old adage, but FCK did that combination of skin and surface tension hurt. High school dances. I should have just said no. I was depressed and had self-injury issues. Living with these scars as an adult sucks. Well, I drank a 2-liter bottle of Coke in about 10-15 minutes. Warglogged it all out an hour later. Started smoking cigarettes. Meth. I'm love food sleep being lazy far too much to be a tweaker anymore. But kids will be kids. 8 years sober. BTW. Close bracket. I was around 13 and trying to venture into new territories of fapping possibilities. I had recently used Icy Hot to numb some muscle pain and I figured that if I covered my hand with it, it would be completely numb and it would feel like someone else was giving me the hand job. If you don't know, Icy Hot and crotch area do not mix. I lubed up my hand and went to town. It burned like a moth FK and I ran into the shower crying. I was F-king stupid. Not study. Sold off my N64 collection to go to grad with people I hated in this ugly teal mermaid dress, and there's a video out there of me doing this F-king awkward little fist pumping, tit shaking dance all whilst headbanging. SMH. Edit. People were Facebook stalked and added. We'll see if one has video. Keep in mind I was underage. I went to school, a small school with K-12 all in the same building. Got the sudden urge to knock a first grader's books out of his hands. Told him he had a spider on them. Got to spend the rest of the day with the first graders sitting in a small chair because my principal said I acted like one. Worth it. Got to do finger paintings instead of calculus. Fight with my parents. Looking back, it was so retarded. I regret not being closer to them now that I'm in college. Edit. Thanks for the words of encouragement. Close bracket. Once I transported a few kids with my buddy, a full car, a town over in my mother's car carrying 230 racks. 440 ounces. 2 ounces of weed. 2 grams of coke. And 97 pills of ecstasy. All for smoking me up. On a few bowls. Holy shit. The jail time I would have spent for that would have killed me. I'd probably still be there if I got pulled over and searched. The things I did in high school were fun and exhilarating, but I absolutely shudder when I think about how stupid I was. Edit. First thing we see pulling out of the driveway was the cop. For a second I reconsidered the mission, but decided it was imperative we push onward. Fapped into a cup on a dare. I graduated in 1995. And I'm still known for that. No HS reunion for me. I pooped in a bag. Put it on a doorstep. Lit it on fire. And ran away. I decided to scrub the blackheads off my nose. With the green side of a sponge. Lost my virginity in the back of an Oldsmobile. In middle school I snorted both Kool-Aid and crushed Cheez-It dust thanks to peer pressure. Work so hard for the GPA I achieved. Total waste of time. Drank a bottle of Robitussin at the mall. I went rollerblading around in some apartment complexes. Then I fell down some stairs. Being a total douche with an awesome girl. Just to impress my friends so they don't stop thinking how cool I was. I broke her heart so many times. Damn. The cool thing is we encountered in a party 6 months ago and talked about that and we are cool now. She married last December and I was invited to the party, so happy ending. Yay. As a 17-year-old, my answer is pretty much the past 4 years. Apostrophe. Hook up with a guy 20 years older than me on a regular basis. I didn't even like him and I always took alcohol and pills from him and his boyfriend. Let that stupid blonde girl borrow my car. She wrecked it. Never think with your little head. Guys. It usually ends poorly. Lots of looking back at situations and realizing I absolutely could have gotten laid and was too wrapped up in AWW. Nobody loves me to realize it. I read in Thrasher magazine that before Fishbone went on stage they put Tiger Balm on their dicks. I thought I'll put Tiger Balm on my dick. 30 seconds later. Why the hell did I do that? Double quote. Oh god, just all the awkward grinding at freshman sophomore year homecomings. Please God. Just take back the memories. Well, this one time when I was 15 I tried to hook up with my best friend's GF. Why the FCK did I do that? Drugs. Parties. Dating that older guy. Dating most of the guys I dated. Gosh, the list is actually quite long. Stealing chromies from cars. Rock pine cone wars. Chucking ice balls at passing cars. Eating a quarter of mushrooms and thinking it would be the best experience ever. So much social awkwardness. Especially with girls. I randomly will remember some of the more cringe-worthy moments of junior high, early high school and think, oh god, why? Double quote. My mom was a single parent with 2 other kids and, though highly educated, was generally too riddled with depression and anxiety to work steadily or really be a mom. She's a lot better now and has a lucrative career to show for it. When I was 16/17, I would take my car and just leave for days on end without telling her. Most of the time I was with my girlfriend at her neighbor's house babysitting the lady's baby daughter while she went off on meth binges and let us use her house however we wanted. My mom would be so worried about me, and really, she had reason to. I did way more drinking and tons of harder drugs than I do now as an adult. There were so many nights for months on end where I was blackout drunk, and at one point I was doing 3 or 4 substances at a time. Nothing like a little malt liquor, Xanax, pot, opiate combo. Probably spent a good $3,000 of my savings that I had accumulated since I was a little kid from gift money and odd jobs that was meant for a big purchase when I was older. After recently visiting my hometown and catching up with some of the people I knew during those years, I started to realize how lucky we are all to still be alive and well. Funnily enough, I was one of the only ones to move out and strive for something better in my life. Probably because I can look back and wonder what I was f***ing thinking.